Nothing more terrifying than the rage of a narcissist, especially a malignant narcissist. If you don't believe me, just ask my long-suffering wife. The narcissist rage is explosive, disproportionate, menacing. It sucks all the air out of the room, and it is the reification of the guillotine or a Damocles sword about to decapitate you. Seriously, it's a harrowing, terrifying experience. There are two ways to cope with narcissistic rage, two methods, which I will describe in this video. Neither of them is fail-proof. Neither of them is fail-safe. Neither of them is perfect. They don't work all the time, but these are your best chances. Narcissistic rage feeds on itself. It's what we call a self-reinforcing effect. It feeds on itself. It's not related to external cues or stimuli. It is reflective of internal dynamics. Let me translate this to English. There's very little you can do about it. And it's not about you. It's not your fault. It's not something you've said, not something you've done, at least not intentionally or deliberately. There was no premeditation here. You were not trying to trigger the narcissist or provoke him or humiliate him or denigrate him or whatever. In the majority of cases, what happens is narcissists misinterpret cues, including verbal cues and speech acts. They have a dictionary, all their own. This dictionary is idiosyncratic, it's a kind of private language. You say one thing, the narcissist hears another. You offer help and advice. This is perceived as slight or humiliation or attempt to shame him. I say him, half of all narcissists are women. So it's very difficult to communicate with a narcissist. It's very difficult to interact with a narcissist without triggering time and again narcissistic rages, multiple. They are recurrent. They're a clinical feature actually, of pathological narcissism. Take away the narcissistic rage, and it's not much of a narcissist, not much of a narcissist left. And so narcissistic rage is not only a dominance tactic. It's not only about establishing a hierarchy. It is not intended to modify your behavior or to convince you of something or to communicate the narcissist's emotions. And it's not about any of these things. Narcissistic rage is self-regulatory. The main aim of narcissistic rage is to re-establish a fantastic, grandiose, unrealistic, counterfactual self-concept. The narcissist, by raging, is communicating to himself or to herself, you see, I am superior. You see, I am godlike. Look at the terror on people's faces. Look how they recoil. Look how they submit. This proves that I'm omnipotent and, divine. So narcissistic rage is a signal. It's a signaling behavior, but the signal is not public facing, is not outwardly directed, because narcissists don't recognize the existence of external objects. Rather, the signaling is intended to generate a cascade of internal regulatory functions that would lead to the re-establishment of an equilibrium, homeostasis, which revolves around a fantastic, grandiose, detached from reality self-concept. The narcissist rages as a way of telling himself, convincing himself, that he is immune, invulnerable, impermeable, all-powerful, that he prevails, that he subjugates, that he owns and controls people, that he is in charge, that he is the boss, that he is superior and supreme. Having said all this, there are still, as I said, two ways to cope with narcissistic rage, which may somehow quell the rage, soothe the narcissist, reduce, ameliorate, and mitigate the more abrasive, antisocial, and dangerous aspects of narcissistic rage. My name is Sam Vaknin. I'm the author of Malignant Self-Love, Narcissism Revisited, and the often raging professor of psychology. Let us delve right in. Someone has written to me, and this triggered this video. Is it even possible to de-escalate a pro-social sadistic narcissist once their narcissistic rage is activated and the internal aggression becomes external? It seems like a bottle once opened cannot be recapped situation once that hammer falls, so to speak. Well, that's not entirely correct, actually. So let's discuss the first method, submission. You can calm the narcissist down by ostentatiously displaying submission and flattery. You can flatter the narcissist, and you can obsequiously and conspicuously and visibly submit to the narcissist. But you have to do it very, very carefully. You have to walk on eggshells. It has to follow a highly specific sequence. And the messages you should be sending to the narcissist are as follows, and in this sequence, the pattern should be identical each and every time. The first message you're sending is, oh my God, I'm awakened, I'm enlightened. I haven't seen it this way, but you have opened my eyes. I am now elevated, educated, improved. So, thank you. It's a message of gratitude. The rage is ongoing in the background. You are being called names. You are being debased. You are being degraded and denigrated and humiliated and chastised and castigated, and you name it. He's doing a number on you, the narcissist. He's putting you down. He's taking you apart. And at the same time, you should coolly and calmly communicate to the narcissist. I'm seeing your point of view. I'm beginning to see a point of view. And oh my God, it's far more superior to mine. You are a teacher. You're an educator. You're a guru. You're amazing. I now see the world completely differently. I have changed my rose-tinted glasses with, I've taken the pill. I've taken the red pill. So enlightenment, awakening is the first message. To be followed immediately with a display of submissiveness, a concession. So you tell the narcissist that you're right and I'm going to behave this way. You're right, I'm going to change my behavior. You're right, I'm going to give you money. You're right, I'm going to have sex with you. You're right. You're right. You've opened my eyes. You've changed my mind. And this has caused a modification in my behavior. I'm going to change my behavior. I'm going to cater to your needs. I'm going to comply with your demands. I'm going to meet your expectations and so on. Concessionary signal. So enlightenment, awakening, you've made a whole new person out of me, followed by a concession. And finally, amends, making amends, compensating the narcissist, reparations. You acknowledge that you have somehow damaged the narcissist, you have somehow hurt the narcissist, you have somehow misbehaved, and you make amends for your misconduct, egregious as it may have been. And the amends could be anything. You know your narcissist, you know what turns him on, you know his soft spots, you know his predilections and proclivities, you know what he loves best. These are the amends. You need to offer the narcissist a sacrifice. Sometimes it's a human sacrifice, yourself, but you need to offer him something. So, having been enlightened, having been made aware of your transgressions, you concede to the narcissist and then you make amends somehow. If he likes sex, you offer sex. If he likes books, you buy him books. Hint, hint. Whatever it is, you make amends. But be very careful. Be very careful with this method, because narcissists hold submissive, dumb, and weak people in contempt. And contempt feeds into the aggression. The narcissist wants to annihilate people he holds in contempt. A contemptuous narcissist is actually the most aggressive type there is. So if your submission is overt, if your obsequiousness is self-negating and indicative of some kind of vulnerability, some kind of weakness, some kind of stupidity, inanity, this is going to trigger the narcissist even further. This is going to make you, render you contemptuous, and the narcissist's disdain for you would feed into his aggression and would fan the flames of the narcissistic rage. It would compound the rage. So when you go through the pattern of awakening, concession, amends, when you go through this pattern, make it about him or her, about the narcissist, not about you. Don't talk about yourself. Don't self-refer. Don't describe your state of mind, your behavior. Rather, talk about the narcissist. So don't say, for example, I have changed my mind. Say, you have changed my mind. Don't say, I'm going to modify my behavior. I'm going to change my behavior. Say, you have taught me to change my behavior. Emphasize the narcissist. Do not talk about yourself. Do not self-denigrate. Do not self-demean. Do not self-criticize. Do not play the game, because if you do it that way, if you conform to the narcissist's view of you, it's gonna enhance the rage. It's gonna inflame the situation. On the very contrary, you communicate to the narcissist that he or she, the narcissist, is the cause of all things, the prima causa, the movens, primus movens, the main, the mover and shaker. You make the entire sequence, the entire message, the entire pattern revolve only around the narcissist. You are non-existent. So if you describe a moment, a light bulb moment of enlightenment and awakening and change of mind, make it about him. If you offer a concession, make it about him. He made you concede. How? By educating you, by opening your eyes. If you offer amends, play on the narcissist's entitlement. Don't say, I am offering you this. Say, you're entitled to this. You deserve this. You did everything in your power. You've earned it. And so make it 100% about the narcissist. Because if you talk about yourself, the narcissist is going to rage even more. And don't be too obvious. If you flatter the narcissist too obviously, the narcissist will experience this as an attempt to manipulate him. And this will trigger even more aggression. Be subtle, surreptitious, and make it 100% about him. Everything is his idea. Everything that's happening is his making. He's in charge. He's the boss. He's the mover. He's the shaker. You're a nobody. You're nothing. You don't exist. The second technique is a bit dangerous, especially with malignant narcissists who are also psychopaths. And that is a technique of mirroring. You must be very judicious here. You must know your narcissist real well. Is he just a bully? Because bullies are cowards. When you confront bullies, they cower, they go back, they're craven, they disappear, they submit, actually, bullies. But if your narcissist is not merely a bully, but also a true blue psychopath, do not use this technique, because it would lead to violence. So you need to know your narcissist real well. A bullying narcissist who is merely narcissistic, but at heart is a craven, pusillanimous coward, use the mirroring technique. Rage back. Rage back and outdo the bully. Threaten abandonment, but do not threaten any real life consequences. Don't threaten to blackmail the narcissist. Don't blackmail the narcissist. Don't threaten to expose him. Don't threaten to go to the police. Don't exclude real life penalties and real life consequences. confine yourself, concentrate, focus on the relationship and on emotional inputs into the relationship. So you can threaten him or her with abandonment, rejection, silent treatment, the cold shoulder, rage back. If he is raging at you with intensity 8, rage back with intensity 10. Again, and it is going to work. The rage will cease immediately, like turning off a spigot. But only if it's a classical narcissist who is a bully, Donald Trump, not a psychopath. A psychopath is really, really dangerous. And if a psychopath perceives you as a threat, or if a psychopath perceives you as out to shame him or humiliate him, a psychopath would transition easily, on a dime, from mere externalized aggression to bodily harm, violence, and worse. Okay, these are the only two ways I know to cope with narcissistic rage. If you can come up with other techniques and so on, I'm always open to learn, even after 30 years of studying the topic. And that's not very narcissistic of me, I must say.